You are 9 years old. Your father is walking you down a narrow street in Kyoto. You think you are going to visit someone. You are wrong. At the gate, he stops. He does not kneel. He does not hug you. He simply turns and walks away. A woman you have never seen opens the door. She looks at your hands, your posture, your teeth, and then she says 2 words that will define your next 15 years. You stay. No goodbye. No explanation. Just a wooden floor, a bucket, and a rag. What did you do wrong? You were born poor. You were born a girl. And in 1870s Japan, that was enough. This is not a story about kimonos and cherry blossoms. This is a story about survival. About learning to smile while your knees scream. About becoming art, even when no one asked if you wanted to be. I'm your storyteller at Little Historical. If you stay, really stay, you will never look at a geisha the same way again. And let's walk through that gate together. You are 9 years old, and you have just been handed over like a parcel wrapped in borrowed silk. The woman who now owns you does not ask your name. She lifts your chin with one finger, turns your hands over, palms up, and you understand without being told that she is reading the story of your future in the calluses not yet formed. She smiles, but it is not a smile meant for you. It is the smile of someone who has just calculated exactly how many years it will take to carve the clumsiness out of your bones. That night, you sleep in a hallway on a mat so thin you can feel every knot in the floorboards. Above you, through the paper walls, you hear them. The geisha. Their laughter floats down like silk scarves, light and untouchable. One voice rises above the rest, low and honeyed, and you hear a man's breath catch in response. You do not understand what she said, but you understand what she did. She made him need something he could not name. And you lie there, knees pulled to your chest, wondering if you will ever learn that power. Wondering what it costs. Wondering if the price is written on your palms too. In the morning, you will scrub floors until your knuckles bleed. You will learn to pour tea without spilling a single drop, to bow at exactly the right angle, to walk so quietly that even your shadow forgets you are there. But at night, you will listen again. And slowly, you will begin to understand that a geisha's greatest performance is not on the stage. It is in the pauses between words. In the way a sleeve is allowed to slip, just slightly. In the glance that lasts one heartbeat too long. You are 9 years old, and you have just been handed over. But the most dangerous lessons have not yet begun. They are waiting for you on the other side of that paper wall, where silence is a language and every gesture is a question asked in a voice so soft, only the guilty hear it. The paper wall does not hide everything. Some sounds travel through it like breath through silk. You learn which ones matter. The soft shift of an obi being loosened. The clink of a sake cup set down too quickly. The long, dangerous silence that follows a whispered word you were never meant to hear. By the time you are 12, you have stopped scrubbing floors and started watching faces. Not the faces of the geisha. You already know theirs are masks. You watch the faces of the men who come to the tea houses. The way their eyes follow a hand pouring sake. The way their voices drop when they ask for a particular name. You learn to read hunger before it speaks. And you learn that the most valuable skill a maiko can possess is not a perfect shamisen solo or a flawless dance. It is the ability to make a man feel seen without ever letting him touch. Your training shifts now. No one announces it. One day, the house mother pulls you aside and tells you to sit closer to the client. Not too close. Just close enough that he notices the warmth of your sleeve when you lean forward to refill his cup. She teaches you to laugh with your eyes half closed, to turn away at the exact moment a man leans in, to leave a question hanging in the air like smoke. You are 14. Your body has begun to change in ways you cannot hide beneath even the heaviest kimono. The older geisha watch you differently now. Some with pity. Some with calculation. One night, a client holds your wrist a moment too long. You freeze. The house mother appears beside you like a shadow, her smile never wavering, her fingers prying his grip loose with the gentleness of a blade. Later, she tells you that you did nothing wrong. Then she tells you that next time, you must not freeze. You must smile. You must tilt your head just so and say, "How kind you are to notice me." And then you must find a way to leave the room without running. That night, You lie awake on your wooden pillow, staring at the ceiling, and you understand for the first time that your body is no longer entirely yours. It is a tool, a brush, a currency, and you are learning to spend it without ever giving it away. The lesson has begun, and there is no graduating from this class. By 15, you have learned to read a room the way a priest reads scripture. Every glance, every hesitation, every hand that rests too long on a sake cup tells you something. And you have learned to respond not with words, but with the absence of them. A client asks if you have ever been in love. You lower your eyes and say nothing. The silence stretches between you like a thread pulled thin. He leans closer. You turn away to pour his tea, and in that small movement, you have answered without answering. He will wonder what you meant for days. That is the trick. That is the power they never tell you about. A geisha does not say yes. She does not say no. She makes the question itself feel like a gift. But there are nights when the game turns sharp. A merchant you have served for months begins to bring expensive gifts. Hairpins, combs, a silk obi worth more than your mother earned in a year. The other maiko whisper that he has chosen you. You know what that means. A dana, a patron, a man who pays for the right to sit beside you at every party, to walk you home through the lantern-lit streets, to let everyone see that you belong to him. Not in the way a husband claims a wife. In a way that needs no name because the name would shame you both. He is old enough to be your grandfather. His breath smells of pickled plums and sake. One evening, he asks you to stay after the other guests have left. The house mother nods. Just once. You sit beside him in the empty tea room. He does not speak for a long time. He simply looks at you. Then he reaches out and touches the collar of your kimono. Just the collar. Just one finger. But your skin remembers every lesson you have been taught. Do not flinch. Do not pull away. Smile. He asks if you are afraid of him. You say no, because saying yes would end your career and saying nothing would be the same as saying yes. So you lie. And he knows you are lying. And that is the arrangement. He wants your fear, just a little, just enough to feel powerful. You give him just enough. Not more. Not less. That night, you walk home alone. The okobo clop against the stone streets, and you count each step like a prayer. You have not given anything. But you have learned exactly what everything costs. The next keynote waits just ahead, where the mask becomes permanent and the woman behind it begins to disappear. You wake one morning and realize you cannot remember the last time you spoke without measuring every word. The white paint on your face has dried into a mask so familiar that removing it feels like removing skin. You are 22 now. A full geisha. The apprentices watch you the way you once watched your elders, with hunger and fear mixed together in their young eyes. You have a dana. Not the old merchant. He passed away 2 winters ago, and you wore grey silk for exactly the required number of days before accepting another. This one is younger. Wealthier. He asks for less and pays for more, which makes him more dangerous, not less. He sends letters to the okiya, sealed with wax, asking you to meet him at a private inn. Not a tea house. Not a party. Just you and him and a room with a locked door. The house mother tells you that refusing would be unwise. She does not say impossible. She does not have to. You go. The inn is small, hidden behind a garden of moss and stone lanterns. He is waiting. He pours the sake himself, which is unusual. He asks about your day, about the cherry blossoms, about a dance he saw you perform last month. Normal things. Safe things. Then he sets down his cup and asks if you have ever imagined a different life. Not a married life. Not an ordinary life. Just one where you did not have to smile every moment of every waking hour. You look at him. For 1 breath, 2 breaths, you let the mask slip. Just a little. Just enough that he sees something real beneath the paint. His hand moves toward yours. You do not pull away. You do not lean in. You simply sit there, in the space between yes and no, and you let him wonder which one you are thinking. He does not touch you. Not that night. But he pays for the room until dawn, and you sit together in silence, and you understand that this is the final lesson. The one no one teaches. How to keep a man close without ever letting him inside. How to make him believe he has seen your soul when you have shown him nothing at all. The next morning, you walk back to the Okiya. The Okobo echo against the stones. And you realize that the mask is no longer something you wear. It is something you have become.